Some things I liked about Cameron's project proposal is that his question is very short and clear. Like, there really isn't much room for interpretation of what his study is about. I also like that he found the 30 student volunteers, so like they know that they have to run in advance. So they're not shocked that they have to run. I also like that he had a limitation section where he addressed the fact that he knows that it's just volunteers at his school, so he can't make like a clear correlation between energy drinks and how fast you can run. He would just be basing it off of his school, because had he not had those limitations, that's a question I definitely would have asked him. And I also liked that he commented on the fact that he's only using one energy drink. So once again, that's more of a clear correlation between one specific kind of energy drink and the speed, as opposed to having them have an energy drink of their choice, because then you're getting into different milligrams of caffeine and sugar and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So Cameron, I think that you are off to a great start with your project proposal. A couple questions I do have is, when it comes to the way you are measuring them, how you're doing one lap without caffeine and one lap after caffeine, do you think it would be a good idea to have a control group instead, where you just have everybody run one lap, but some people have caffeine and some people don't? Another question I would have after that is, how would you track that? How would you decide who had caffeine and who didn't? And then also building off of that, in your final project, make sure that you include what kind of caffeinated energy drink they're having, as well as like the amount of sugar, the amount of milligrams of caffeine that has, because that'll be important to know in your future project. And then how will you limit the caffeine intake before the run, or will you? And by that I mean, will you tell the volunteers that they can't drink caffeine in the morning prior to running, and how will you track that, and how will you know that they haven't actually drank caffeine? But Cameron, I think you're off to a great start, and I'm excited to see where it goes. A couple things that I really liked about Offset's project proposal so far is that when he was describing the project, he made sure he said the brand of each ball. I just think that that'll be important to know, and I also think that if you're someone that's reading it, you could go and like look up your own research on each ball and like what people have to say about it, if there's anything with density of the ball or anything like that. You could do some more research on the side to see like if there is a distinct difference between Spalding and Wilson. Then you could do another one as to like why there's a difference. So I think that that was good that he added that. And then I also liked that he gave an example of what he hopes his dot plot to look like, and that he's going to do the no yes with the line to say like whether he made a shot or not. And then that way we can see, like, that's another way that we can help him. Is that a good way to represent the data? So I think it was nice that he included that. Okay, Austin, I think that you have made a great start in your project. I'm very interested to see if there's a difference between Spalding and Wilson. A couple things is, do you think that flipping a coin is necessarily the best approach? I get what you're saying about the fact that it's kind of deciding it for you, but do you think it would be better if you just did like 50 Spalding and 50 Wilson, just so your means would be divided by the same number? Also, on your graph, I like that you gave us a graph. One thing is, how am I going to be able to see whether it was a Spalding or Wilson? Are you going to do like a box for one and then a circle for the other, or darker color? And then just make sure that you provide a key next to your graph so that we're able to tell the difference. And then when it comes to limitations, I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that you didn't have any limitations, but I do think if you're going to be the one that shoots the ball, you should either address like, do you play basketball? Do you have no experience? Because if you don't have any experience and you miss all of the free throws, we're not going to be able to see if there is a difference. But if you're really good at basketball and you make every single free throw, that will also change it. Also, in your limitations, just make sure you change it if you do decide to not flip a coin. And yeah, I'm excited to see where your project goes.